Okay. Okay. Well, hi, how are you doing? I'd like to introduce myself. I am Chiadi. I'm the director of BebsiCo operations here for the Middle East. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I'm Sylina. I'm the beverage sales director for Bakir. So, to my understanding, you guys have been negotiating with a different beverage company for contracts in Kumar in the Middle East. I'm hoping I can convince you to instead um, sign with our company, and hopefully we can come to an agreement that way. So it just sounds like before all the economic issues that we were having in the area, we did have a contract before, so I'm hoping that is in our favor. Um, we have some great contacts here with like a local company. So even through all of our economic troubles, we stick by our employees. We've always wanted to put them first. And through that, we're rewarded with um, agreements with other like retailers and restaurants. And so we think we would be a great candidate for you to expand, not only in Kahumar, but just in the general Middle East area.
Yeah,
So I guess my first question, oh, sorry,
no,
go
no,
ahead.
sorry, go ahead, sorry.
Okay. I guess my first question is what is your agreement with, I think their name is with Kabir, like what is your agreement with them sounding like? And then how far along are you in your negotiation with them?
Yeah, so you sort of started off on the right foot because that's sort of what I wanted to get your perspective on as well, to sort of see what you're expecting from this negotiation and sort of what your goals
Mhm.
are. And our goal is definitely to work with you as well. So sort of coming to a good medium is definitely, since we're sort of on the same page with that,
Mhm.
definitely we can just iron out the details in that case. Yeah, so there's a couple of things, and I'm glad that, if you don't mind, like sort of going over sort of your goals again. I know that you said that, you know, obviously, one of the reasons we would like to work with you is you said you have a connection with the local companies. Can you tell me a little bit more
Mhm.
about that, how that works?
Yeah, of course. So, like, firstly, our biggest thing is like we're local to this area and our employees are all local from here. That's like our people in our factories, our board directors, like everyone is just from this area. And we
Mm,
would love to see like our country grow and prosper again. Um, so the biggest thing is we still do have relationships with some of our previous, like I guess suppliers
okay,
as their distributor for beverages.
okay,
Um, right now, we are soft drinks, but we are looking to expand into like juices and different beverages. And
right,
we do also have we have a board member that can also help distribute in chain restaurants, and it's the largest chain restaurant in Kumar. So I know you guys also have food and other merchandise. So as you expand in the country, we also want to expand with you and delve into a different variety of products as well.
definitely. No, that's actually really good information to know because, you know, we'll sort of go over the numbers in terms of, how we worked together in the
Mhm, of
past.
course.
But, it's like you said, it's sort of an up and down, with the government changing and then being oppressive and it being difficult to work with and meeting like, demands and everything. And then also just uh, how it have a new government now coming into the system, so we have new upturns. So having connections with the local government, the local companies, and having local employees, and keeping it homegrown, and having connection to the big chain markets is a huge benefit for us within this negotiation. So that's definitely a plus for you. I'm just trying to gauge, like, obviously the value so that you get the most value as much as we do. Um,
Mhm.
are there any other concerns that you might have before I sort of like put what our concerns might be?
Um, I think our main thing is just knowing. um, like if there are any other values that you have aside from, staying local. I do understand that recently, especially like the economic downturn and now upturn, that might be an issue as well. So I'm happy to kind of discuss that more, and then also the terms of our agreement.
Okay, sounds good. So, I guess I'm just gonna go like more into the numbers in terms of,
Mhm,
what I'm gonna be offering, because I think like definitely, and just to sort of put it down on the table, obviously we are hoping to work with you because, Kabar, we're sort of having, difficulty working with them. They're becoming more international. We want to keep it more local. And then the other difficulty we had with our previous distributor is meeting demands, right? And
mhm,
distributions. And that was similarly what we had with you. You guys in the past, we've worked with you, and the amount that we paid before, I think, was like 1.87 in mail hand. You guys met our
mhm,
demands perfectly. So that was great. And I think like 5 years ago, we gave you like 3.3 in Kumar. Now, I think that, wasn't met exactly, just, like you said, the turn of the government and everything like that became difficult. So I'm sure it was difficult, all around. But I did want to point out that even during that time in like other areas like UMOD, we 5 years ago we did the 3.3 with them as well. The following year we did 2.6, which, that was like during that time, 3.07 the next year, 3.1, 3.6. So that's from last year. So, there was a downturn, but it's coming back up more now. So in terms of meeting distributions, and also in terms of, still having that sort of um, difficulty in meeting demands, and I'm sure you're going to hit into roadblocks, um, as well as, for us, we have to meet like a 75% percentage line in terms of distribution. So that
mhm,
has to get met. So, which is why, in terms of all those factors, we want to offer like $4.2 million to you guys this year. We're keeping it that amount just so that at least we have the confidence with the other connections that you have in terms of the local connections, having the board member, having the chain, restaurants and everything. And, we do have a mission as well, because you said you do have, local employees that do work there. It's very important for us to make sure that the workers' conditions are met and are safe as well. So, that's also our commitment to you within that amount, that we will, that's obviously a huge part of our mission, to make sure that safety conditions are always met. So in that case, we're always going to be keeping track of, in terms of distribution in each factory that we go to. So I also wanted to bring that up as well. So offering the 4.2 million, and then we can sort of increase it, year by year, depending on the percentage that's met in terms of the distribution.
mhm. Yeah, I would say the 4.2 is definitely fair, especially starting out from like our previous agreements, kind of taking a look at other costs, of course, with inflation, increasing costs for us, and then also like the economic downturn. I think that is a fair amount. When you say 75% minimum distribution, is there any way we can kind of maybe start that a little bit lower? And just as we kind of get our footing back, also keeping in mind, like, perhaps we, like, of course, we have the local connections, but just because we don't know exactly where they are right now with everything that's going on, maybe we can start that at like 70, and then increase it. And then, of course, we'd be more than happy to meet your demands higher, like even at like 78 or 80% in the next couple of years as well.
Okay, if you don't mind, if I can sort of um, so that we have both insurances in terms of meeting that deadline, so that
Mhm,
in case, we, whatever percentage that we don't meet it, whether it's 70 or 65 or something like that, if we can sort
mhm,
of guarantee through maybe having contracts with the local either restaurants or something like that to sort of guarantee that like sort of 10% buffer. If we can sort of like work on those contracts as part of the negotiation, would that be possible?
Just to clarify, so when you say 10% buffer, like what exactly is that range? And then you're just
I
wanting to keep, oh, sorry, go ahead.
right, no, 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 sorry. I mean, I'm guessing just in terms of there should always be a minimum in terms of distribution. I mean, obviously it's going to be that what's we would want to go for well, I guess I'm sorry, let me rephrase how I
All
was
good.
thinking how.
So here, I can let you know, like, so from our standpoint, we believe that we could meet at least 65%, but we would want to strive for, like, of course we want to strive for 75. We're thinking
Right,
no less than 70. It's just these first couple years we want to give ourselves like a little bit of room to grow. We obviously don't want to disappoint you or not meet your distribution standards,
right.
but just starting off low and then like maybe potentially 70 if we can, and then building that up to increase. We I do have here that you're like when economic years are good for you guys, you can meet 95%, and we would love to also like take you there as well. So
Right.
just building it up to that like high, almost 100% distribution.
Right, exactly. And that's sort of where, in terms of my framing when I see the guarantee, and maybe you
Mhm.
can, have some other ideas on how we can sort of work around that, where, okay, you'll be able to meet that 65 for sure, each
Mhm.
year. And then hopefully, as we work together with the distributors, we can sort of meet it. But just in case, I was saying, if there was some way that we can sort of make sure we sort of like at least meet that mark. Um,
Mhm.
do you have any ideas possibly how we can sort of
Let me see if there's anything on here. Yeah, I think 65 minimum is definitely doable.
yeah,
We would, of course, want you to reach as much of your target market as possible.
right,
Um, there are some concerns like that we're well aware of, like weather or security, or they even have here like bureaucratic delays. And I think with the new government in place, that should no longer be as much of a problem.
a
Um,
hindrance. Okay.
but yeah, I don't have anything
Okay.
that is like,
So maybe that's a way that we can sort of go about it, like go the
mhm,
government aspect of it in
mhm,
terms of, sort of maybe coming to them with contractual you know, obligations
mhm,
where they can work with both of us. And that way
mhm.
that can sort of, have our backs as well in terms of distribution, since it'll be a sign of good faith as well in working with a new government,
Yeah, of
possibly.
course. Yeah, I'm sure they would want to see the economy improve as well. So I'm I I guess the next thing also to negotiate, like it goes hand in hand with this was, but would be like the length of the contract. So just depending on how long you're willing to sign for, I'm thinking like 65 minimum for the first year, and then we can increase it by like 5 or 10% for the second year, and then third year we can hit that threshold of like 75 to 80% minimum.
Okay, so then how about we do it this way where, the first year we'll do the 65 and then, we'll make sure a huge incentive part of it will definitely be the governmental contracts as well in terms of
Mhm.
that. And then year by year, as the percentage threshold increases between us, then we will rely less on that government. That way, we're not depending on one government in case it changes again.
Mhm. Yeah, that's fair.
Perfect. Okay. So you said 65 the first year and then 70 the next year.
Mhm.
Okay, and then we'll just go upward from there. And then,
Mhm.
we'll keep if you don't mind, we'll keep the 4.2 the first 2 years, just to, keep it a stable rate. And then I think by
Mhm.
the third year, we'll know for sure. And then, we'll probably have an increase. Just by then, we'll both have beneficial impacts in terms of win-win, and then we can definitely increase.
All right, that sounds good. And then should we, since there's an increase, like pending, our results and our relationship after year two, should we say like, I guess the first 2 years are a bit of a trial and then our like the trial contract, and then after we would of course want to see
Exactly. Yeah,
renegotiate and things like that.
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're gonna, yeah, negotiate year three for, like sort of final
Mhm.
numbers, and we'll have a good idea.
Okay, great. Um, and I guess if since it kind of sounds like we're in agreement, I'm
Mhm.
curious to see if when you had negotiated with the other beverage company, Kabir, aside from them being like looking to expand internationally, not wanting to stay locally, was there anything else about them that you had concerns about, or anything that I could do to make you want to um, contract
Yeah.
with us more?
Mm. Um, so let's see. Hmm. I mean, we went with them obviously because, they're the largest and they were the
Mhm.
most reliable and most, profitable. So for them, it was
Mhm.
just on dependability and
Mhm.
results, really. Um,
Mhm.
And then, in terms for you guys, you guys were always our second choice because we did work with you in the past, but you're a
Mhm.
smaller company, and with the economy shifting, that
Mhm.
changed. And obviously, the other company, they were just really bad at the distribution, and so we wanted to break with them anyway. So,
Mhm.
we were going to be in favorable, terms with you starting.
Mhm.
Um, but it's like you said, if since we're sort of moving away from Caber with all the turmoil that's going on with them, if we're able to
Mhm.
work with you and by year three we negotiate, we can maybe even end up sort of growing to be the largest in the area, most
Mhm.
profitable because you've had that reputation in the past. And if we have the contracts with the government, if we have we build the employee safety and make it like a more local messaging, I think that we can sort of build our status in that terms, and we can definitely be the first choice for
Mhm.
everyone in the area.
Mhm. Yeah, great. And then, since you mentioned, like, yes, we are a little bit smaller than the other company, we're actually hoping that by year three we can acquire the the third. It's like the third largest company in the area, Jade Juices.
Yeah,
So by that point, once we have acquired and when we're renegotiating, we can obviously talk about different products and then the
definitely,
distribution requirements for there. So we'd be happy to
definitely.
do that.
And the factor too, to make it more favorable, just as a mentioned for you for the renegotiation, is
Mhm.
as we're working together, definitely our thing is the safety, right? Distribution safety, employee safety, all those things, because that was a major issue that we had with them. So when you're inquiring, hopefully we can implement all the standards that we've built up the last 2 years into that,
Mhm.
and then build it even more.
Mhm. Yeah, definitely. Okay, great. So just to confirm, we're settled on it's 4.2 million for year one, year two.
Mhm.
And then the distribution standard is 65, 70, and then after year three, we'll just
Mhm.
negotiate or renegotiate for that once we've both kind of settled and expanded in the area.
Mhm. And then, with year one and year two, hopefully with those additional percentages, working with the government contracts if possible,
Mhm.
just to, yeah,
Yeah, great.
cool. Yeah, I think we made
Great.
good time too.
Nice. Okay.
See, you're a
Yeah.
pro at this. You always made this really nice. Mood for me too.
Uh, yeah. Um,
Always
yeah, I
freak
feel
out
like
with
all the
everything. That's like
sorry.
I
I feel like all the factors just make it so complicated. Like,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, I always get freaked out at the beginning because of all these, little things. And you're like, okay, well then how are you, how custom are we supposed to make, this
Yeah.
negotiation? But
Yeah.
I think like last time when everyone came back, I was like, oh, I didn't even think about that.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. And I think all the little like details of everything, because then I'm like, oh, I don't know what like you might know or what you'll be
Mhm.
bringing. And then I feel like that makes me nervous
Exactly.
because what if it changes like my stance in the middle?
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. What you should tell them, what you shouldn't tell them, what's,
Hmm.
beneficial for you, for them, both.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
hard.
I think my main concern was it sounds like super favorable for Kabir in this situation. And so I wasn't sure if like you were willing to work or if you're just looking
Oh,
for
really?
like a super cheap distributor. Yeah.
Ah, yeah, I was like, obviously in my thing, it's us to definitely work with you. Our only stipulation was like more like in the amount and like the distribution, thing, which is why I kept on talking
Mm,
about it
mm-hmm,
because I felt like that was like the two most important things. So yeah, that was like my main thing coming at it
mm-hmm.
with you, which is interesting.
Yeah. My main thing was just to like land the contract.
Yeah,
So they're like,
okay.
that is first. And
Gotcha.
then, like, of course, you want to earn as much as possible, but like money
Right,
is second. So
right.
for me, it was more like, what are your interests? And then, like, how can we share those? And it's really great, actually, that it's so agreeable and we didn't have
Yeah,
to
exactly.
be,
So we didn't have to like
yeah,
mind trick each other or something.
yeah,
We
that's a
basically
relief. I'm
just
not
said
good at
like,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think I was like with Christine last week, and our thing was we had to sort of like hold our stands, and we both were just like we weren't budging. So I
Oh,
was like, oh, how are we supposed to? But we sort of, met a midline though. But yeah, it's
mhm.
very interesting.
Yeah, that's good.
Nice. Jeez, did you look up the prep sheet at all before or no? I didn't make.
The seven elements one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I only did like one side of it though. So yeah, it wasn't, I feel like some of it you have to fill out as you
Yeah, that's like
do
yeah.
the negotiation, but it did help a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I read through the questions, but I always feel like I can't do it all then. I have to like come up with it now, like
Mhm,
as we're talking, but it still prepares you for stuff, for sure.
mhm. All right, I'm gonna stop my recording.
Oh yeah, good idea.